Welcome to CIS 211, Computer and the Internet, Section 1, Computer Hardware, Introduction. In this study section, you will learn about computer hardware, usually simply called hardware, which is the collection of physical elements that constitute a computer system. It is the physical part or component of a computer, such as the monitor, mouse, keyboard, computer data storage, hard disk drive HDD, system unit, graphic cards, sound cards, memory, motherboard and chips, and so on, all of which are physical objects that can be touched, that is, they are tangible. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this section, you should be able to analyze the von Neumann architecture, describe the basic concept of computer hardware, describe the various types of computer, describe the component of a personal computer, PC. Von Neumann architecture. This describes a design architecture for an electronic digital computer with subdivisions of a processing unit consisting of an arithmetic logic unit and processor registers, a control unit containing an instruction register and program counter, a memory to store both data and instructions, external mass storage, and input and output mechanisms. The meaning of the term has evolved to mean a stored program computer in which an instruction, fetch, and a data operation cannot occur at the same time because they share a common bus. This is referred to as the von Neumann bottleneck and often limits the performance of the system. Types of computer. There are a number of different types of computer system in use today. Personal computer. The personal computer, also known as the PC, is one of the most common types of computer due to its versatility and relatively low price. Laptops are generally very similar, although may use lower power or reduced sized components. Personal computer case. The computer case is a plastic or metal enclosure that houses most of the components. Those found on desktop computers are usually small enough to fit under a desk. However, in recent years, more compact designs have become more commonplace, such as the all-in-one style designs from Apple, namely the iMac. Though a case can basically be big or small, what matters more is which form factor of motherboard it's designed for. Laptops are computers that usually come in a clamshell form factor. Again, however, in more recent years, deviations from this form factor have started to emerge, such as laptops that have a detachable screen that become tablet computers in their own right. 1. Monitor. 2. Motherboard. 3. CPU. 4. RAM. 5. Expansion cards. 6. Power supply. 7. Optical disk drive. 8. Hard disk drive. 9. Keyboard. 10. Mouse. Personal computer power supply. A power supply unit, PSU, converts alternating current AC electric power to low voltage DC power for the internal component of the computer. Laptops are capable of running from a built-in battery, normally for a period of hours. Personal computer motherboard. The motherboard is the main component of computer. It is a large rectangular board with integrated circuitry that connects the other parts of the computer, including the CPU, the RAM, the disk drives, CD, DVD, hard disk, or any others, as well as any peripherals connected via the port or the expansion slots. Components directly attached to or part of the motherboard include: 1. The CPU central processing unit performs most of the calculations which enable a computer to function and is sometimes referred to as the brain of the computer. It is usually cooled by a heatsink and fan. Most new CPUs include an on-die graphics processing unit GPU. 2. The chipset, which includes the NOT bridge, mediates communication between the CPU and the other components of the system, including the main memory. 3. The random access memory, RAM, stores the code and data that are being actively accessed by the CPU. 4. The read-only memory, ROM, stores the BIOS that runs when the computer is powered on or otherwise begins execution, a process known as bootstrapping or booting up. The BIOS basic input-output system includes boot firmware and power management firmware. Newer motherboards use Unified Extensible Firmware Interface UEFI instead of BIOS. 5. Buses connect the CPU to various internal components and to expansion cards for graphics and sound. 6. The CMOS battery is also attached to the motherboard. This battery is the same as a watch battery or a battery for a remote to a car's central locking system. Most batteries are CR2032, which powers the memory for date and time in the BIOS chip. Personal computer, expansion cards. An expansion card in computing is a printed circuit board that can be inserted into an expansion slot of a computer motherboard or backplane to add functionality to a computer system via the expansion boards. Expansion cards can be used to obtain or expand on features not offered by the motherboard. Personal computer storage devices. Computer data storage, often called storage of memory, refers to computer components and recording media that retain digital data. Data storage is a core function and fundamental component of computers. The price of solid-state drives, SSD, which store data on flash memory, has dropped a lot in recent years, making them a better choice than ever to add to a computer to make booting up and accessing files faster. 1. Fixed media. Data is stored by a computer using a variety of media. Hard disk drives are found in virtually all other computers due to their high capacity and low cost, but solid-state drives are faster and more power efficient, although currently more expensive than hard drives, so are often found in more expensive computers. Some systems may use a disk array controller for greater performance or reliability. 2. Removable media. To transfer data between computers, a USB flash drive or optical disk may be used. Their usefulness depends on being readable by other systems. The majority of machines have an optical disk drive, and virtually all have a USB port. Personal computer, input and output peripherals. Input and output devices are typically housed externally to the main computer chassis. The following are either standard or very common to many computer systems. 1. Input device. Input devices allow the user to enter information into the system or control its operation. Most personal computers have a mouse and keyboard, but laptop systems typically use a touchpad instead of a mouse. Other input devices include webcams, microphones, joysticks, and image scanners. 2. Output device. Output devices display information in a human-readable form. Such devices could include printers, speakers, monitors, or a braille embosser. Mainframe computer. A mainframe computer is a much larger computer that typically fills a room and may cost many hundreds of thousands of times as much as a personal computer. They are designed to perform large numbers of calculations for government and large enterprises. Personal computer, Minicomputer. In the 1960s and 1970s, more and more departments started to use cheaper and dedicated systems for specific purposes like process control and laboratory automation. Personal computer, supercomputer. Supercomputers typically run military and scientific applications. Although they cost millions of dollars, they are also being used for commercial applications where huge amounts of data must be analyzed. For example, large banks employ supercomputers to calculate the risk and returns of various investment strategies, and healthcare organizations use them to analyze giant databases of patient data to determine optimal treatment for various diseases and problems occurring to the country. A supercomputer is superficially similar to a mainframe, but is instead intended for extremely demanding computational tasks. As of November 2013, the fastest supercomputer in the world is the Tianhe 2 in Guangzhou, China. The term supercomputer does not refer to a specific technology. Rather, it indicates the fastest computers available at any given time. In mid-2011, the fastest supercomputers boasted speeds exceeding 1 petaflop, or 1,000 trillion floating point operations per second. Supercomputers are fast but extremely costly, so they are generally used by large organizations to execute computational demanding tasks involving large data sets. Study section summary. In this study section, we discussed 1. The von Neumann design architecture for an electronic digital computer, which includes a memory to store both data and instructions in addition to the input, processing, and the output units. 2. That a computer system is made of various components that work together to achieve a particular task. 3. That computer systems come in various sizes depending on the goal that they are meant to perform. This is the end of study section 1. Thanks for listening.